Hi, I'm Austin from Boss here at Kraft Music, and today we're going to take a look at the Boss Katana Amplifier Series. And for great deals, make sure you check out the bundles at Kraft Music. So today, out of the Katana family, I'm playing through the Katana 100-212 combo here. We're miking it up with an SM57 and blending it with the DI line out on the back of the amp. There are also 3 other amplifiers to the family. We have a 50-watt 112 combo, which gives you the option of 2 channels. The next one is a 100-watt 112 combo, which gives you the option of 4 channels, as well as an effects loop and GAFC control. And then lastly, we have a 100-watt head, which takes any 8-ohm load cabinet, as well as have a 5-inch speaker on the front panel of it for references as a practice tool, and it also takes MIDI. So let's take a look at the hardware and technology integration that's going on in the Katana amplifier, which reveals how the amplifier is working. So first, we start off with a discrete analog input section, which is a completely different section from the rest of the amplifier. This allows us to get more dynamic interplay between the instrument and, of course, any other pedals that are in the chain directly to the amplifier. Next, we have our tube logic stage. And our tube logic stage is our proprietary technology that we're using to recreate the circuit board of a tube amplifier, because all of those components are speaking to each other on a level in real time as you're playing. Next, we have the Class AB analog power amp stage, and this allows for the natural push-pull variac system that we would get from a tube amplifier that allows us to have that dynamic interplay between the power amp and the speaker. With this amplifier, we get the non-master volume tube amplifier experience, in which case you crank up a tube amp and it gets really, really screaming loud and the tone's really, really good, but the problem is it is too loud. So with this amplifier, we get the exact same tone, but we can have that at any level. So let's take a look at the clean channel on the amplifier. I have a little bit of reverb going on, and here's what it sounds like. Okay, so here is the crunch channel on the amplifier, and I'm going to play a little bit with the volume to show the natural interplay between the input stage and the guitar. As you notice, as I roll down the volume, the signal actually cleans up. So let's take a look at that. So this shows off a little bit of the dynamic interplay between the instrument and possibly any pedals that are in your chain directly to the input of the amp. And next, let's take a look at the lead channel on the amplifier. This is going to give us a similar sound to the Brown sound, but it's going to be a little bit more mid-range punchy. It's really, really great for lead stuff. So let's take a look at that sound. All right, so that's a little bit of the lead channel on the amp. Let's take a look at the last gain stage on the amplifier, which is going to be the brown sound. And this is not about achieving a signature tone, but about achieving a dynamic interplay and a great overall sound. So here's the brown sound, which is going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit more bass mid-heavy. So here we go. Again, I'm not changing any of the knobs on top of the amplifier. I'm sticking with just the raw amplifier sounds. So what you're hearing is just me turning to the next channel on the amp. So here we go. So that's a little bit of the brown sound. Notice I actually switched pickups for this. I went into the rhythm pickup first, and then I went straight into the bridge pickup next to get more of the searing lead tones. So you can hear the dynamic differences between the two. And that is the amplifier stages of the Katana series. And along with those, you have a couple of different controls. So you have a basic 3-band EQ, bass, middle, and treble. Next after that is the really fun part, and this is all of the effects that are built into the amplifier. So I'll switch to the clean channel just so you can hear the differences in the effects. And basically, you'll notice I have a GAFC foot switch here on the floor, and this allows me to turn on and off the individual effects that are in the amplifier. So to start off, on the first knob, we have a booster modulation section. So that's going to give you all of your overdrive pedals, and that's going to give you classic modulation pedals. So to start and to turn it on, you just turn the knob a little bit, about right there, and then the color on top of that section determines what type of effect or what type of booster you want. Stock way that the amplifiers come, yellow is a distortion, green is going to be a blues driver, and red is going to give you an overdrive. So I actually like the blues driver myself. It's one of my favorite overdrive pedals. So let's give a little bit of listen to that. Also noticed as I'm playing, I turned on and off that actual overdrive section. Now the GAFC will actually operate as a sort of miniature pedal board to work in conjunction with the Katana Amplifier series. And this foot switch can be used on all of the Katana amplifiers except for the 50 watt. The 50 watt you can use since it only has 2 channels, you can use a dual button foot switch to switch between those 2 channels. Next up we have a little bit of modulatory effects. So in order to get to the modulatory section, we're going to turn the knob all the way over to the mod section, just like how it would work on our old Cube amplifiers. Green is going to be a chorus, red will be a flanger, and orange will be a phaser. So I tend to like chorus myself, so here's a little bit of that chorus sound. that's a little bit of the chorus. Again, you can edit the sound or get a more or less section just on top of the amp by turning the knob and getting a little bit of a wetter sound, which gets sounds like this. So that's a little bit of a wetter sound out of the chorus. The next effects section we have is going to be the delay and FX or /FX section. So the delay is pretty obvious. It's going to give you delays. And then the other side of that coin is the FX section. This will give you auxiliary effects such as octave effects, tremolos, and also a T-wah, which comes stock. So let me turn off my chorus section here and go right into the delays just by turning the knob slowly. Again, the way the amplifier comes stock, yellow is a tape echo, green is a digital delay, and red is an analog delay. I tend to like tape echoes myself. The RE201 is probably one of my favorite echo machines that are out there. Another useful factor about the delay that works with the GAFC foot switch is that it is tap tempable. So I can actually tap out the tempo of the delay just from the GAFC foot switch, which is a really convenient factor to have, especially for a live setting. So let me tap out a quick tempo here. And now I'll give you a little bit of taste of the tape delay. So here we go. So that was a little bit of the tape echo sound. Next, we're going to take a look at the FX section. So by doing that, we simply turn the knob to the right. And the stock sounds that come in the FX section, red will be a T-wah, orange will be an octave effect, and green will be a tremolo. I'm a funky kind of guy, so I think the T-wah will definitely suit for this example. So here we go, taking a look at the T-wah. So that was a little bit of the T-wah effect from the FX section. Next, we're going to take a look at the reverb. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the T-wah. And we're going to take a look at just the reverb. So the reverb is pretty simple. It's on one knob. I can get a more or less from it. The different styles of reverb that I have. Green will be a plate. Red will be a spring. And orange will be a hall sound. I tend to like the plate reverbs myself. So let's take a look at that. So that was a little bit of the reverb sound on it. Again, the top panel gives you a basic editing of controls of the effects, but if you would like to edit the effects deeper, you can download our free software from bossToneStudio.com for the Katana amplifier, and we'll take a look at that Tone Studio editor in just a few moments. So the last stage of the amplifier, which is the most important, is our power control stage. So this has 4 modes to it. The first mode is a standby, which works exactly like the standby switch on your normal tube amplifiers you would find. Next is a 0.5 watt setting, and this controls the wattage setting going out to the speaker. This 0.5 watt setting Gives you a nice bedroom volume, nice practice volume for by yourself. And then we have 2 performance volumes, 50 watt and 100 watt. Today I'm on the 0.5 watt setting, showing off these sounds to you. And the 50 watt and 100 watt are great for small clubs, gigs, rehearsal spaces with your bands. So as I said before, there is a free program for a deeper tone editing of the effects to match with the Katana amplifier. Simply plug your PC or Mac via USB into the back of the amp, and you can get all sort of deeper controls of the effects. So let's take a look at some of the deeper controls. I'll start with the gains on this one, the booster section, just so you can hear a couple of the differences in tones. So let's see, to start, right now what we have on here in the distortion booster section is a distortion pedal. So if I click on this drop menu here, I have all this list of different types of overdrives and distortions I can choose from. All the way from clean, treble, and mid boosts, all the way to fuzzes and metal zones and all sorts of other different types of effects. I am a blues driver player, so I'll stick with the blues driver and show you a little bit of the different tones you can get. So here's my clean tone. All right. And here's my tone with the blues driver, just set the way it is in the program. So I got the drive at about 10:30, 11 o'clock right now. The tone's pretty much right down the middle. Gave it a little bit of bottom end here, and then the effect level I can control. Well, let's add a little bit more drive to that. And let's dull down the tone a little bit. Get it a little bit more woolly. And now the blues driver sounds like this. Okay, great. So we have our favorite overdrive pedal dialed in. Next, I like to dial in some delays to get some nice air to some leads. And for this one, I'm using a non-stock delay, which I can actually swap out using the Tone Studio. And for this, I'm going to use a little bit of reverse delay. For this, I like to bring up the effect level and bring down the dry mix. This will give us the kind of reverse effect that you would hear in some of your favorite 60s songs. So here we go. So as you can tell from the program, I can edit a lot of features inside of the delay. I can have some high cut, I can adjust the effect level and feedback, and this drop menu changes as I change delays. So for the analog delay, I now have a couple of different controls. Same thing with the modulate delay. I can add in a little bit of chorus to that delay sound. And all of these channels I can actually pre-save to the actual amplifier itself or to the librarian that is in the Tone Studio. So I'll go over here and click on the librarian, and as you notice, I already have a couple of pre-saved live sets or set lists. This will basically allow me to save 4 channels into each individual set, click and drag, and then I'm ready for my gig. So if I want to have my funky presets here, and I want to drag them into the Katana, simply click on the channel that I want here. Select all 4 channels, click and drag, give it a second to load. And now I have my 4 saved channel edits for my funky live set. So that's a little bit on how you can save some of your presets into the computer and back them up. Let's take a look at some of the other effect possibilities that you have in the amplifier. So if I were to go to, let's say, I'll go to channel 3 just as a blank example here. We're going to go to the effects section, And by doing this, we are going to turn our effects knob here all the way to the right so we can get the effects turned on. And as you can see, as I'm turning the knob in Tone Studio, you can see that the rate is changing for my rotary sound. Let's bring some treble back up. And then if I were to go to the drop menu where the rotary is here, I have all of these different effects I can control from. I have ring modulators, I have a slow gear, some graphic EQs, which are actually very, very useful for tone shaping. We have an acoustic simulator, an acoustic processor, wave synth, pitch shifter, harmonist. Humanizer is actually one of my favorites. This is actually a seeker wah, kind of sounds like this. And that rate seems a little bit fast, so let's bring down the rate to kind of give it a more of a swishing type of sound. I could change those vowel shapes as well. We can change the vowel shape to E, I, U, anything that your heart's content wants. Allows us to change the tone of the effect. And this is all possible inside the Tone Studio here. You can also change a little bit of your chain as well. So the signal chain can be changed from whether you like to have the amplifier preamp first or the overdrive section first with the modulatory section. You can chain the effects a little bit differently depending upon how you like your setup. So that's a little bit about Tone Studio and how you can save some of the presets. Again, very easy by connecting a USB cable to the back of the Katana amp to deeper edit your sounds and save your sounds. And that is the Boss Katana Amplifier series. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Austin from Boss here at Kraft Music.